red-blooded American punk rock.
Red-blooded American punk rock.
Do you like dumbass hair metal? Do you like rock and roll? Do you like punk rock? Congratulations, motherfuckers. It's red-blooded American punk rock.
We've been using that as kind of like our slogan since the beginning.
Ramones core or punk rock or pogo punk or whatever you want, but we always felt like the term red-blooded American punk rock really fit what we were doing.
We wanted to incorporate our love for more than just punk rock into our music.
When you start to look at the impact that the Ramones had, it reached out. So, you have bands like Kiss covering the Ramones. You have fucking Skid Row covering the Ramones.
We wanted to bring a hard 80s metal kind of vibe to it and be real fucking mean and real fucking tough.
And I say 80s hair metal a lot when I describe it because that irritates people. Like people consider hair metal to be this pussy thing. What the fuck is hair metal? It was fucking heavy metal in the 80s. Now they call that hair metal.
We like Screeching Weasel, Ramones, and the Queers, and all the punk bands that everybody else likes. But, on tour and everything, we find ourselves listening to more bands like Accept, Motley Crue.
Skid Row's second record, Slave to the Grind, Quiet Riots, Metal Health. Records like that. We listened to a ton of Wasp.
Kiss when they came out and took off the makeup.
80s Kiss.
Most of the dudes that I know fucking grew up listening to that shit. And it's still in our DNA, so if you want to pretend that you came out of the womb and started listening to fucking Blitzkrieg Bop, I guess you can go ahead. Our message was red-blooded American punk rock isn't as much of a sound as it is a fucking attitude.
One day B and I were having a practice and he played like this weird little guitar riff.
And I just started fucking playing that.
We were like, fuck yeah, that sounds cool.
I got up the next day and I fucking ran downstairs and I started fucking playing, and I started thinking about Stryper, To Hell with the Devil, and there's that big part in the beginning of To Hell with the Devil where they have that big, and it's held out, bop, bop. That's a Stryper ripoff, 100%. Stole that from Stryper.
I get there one day and he busts out his guitar and he sings the lyrics, and next thing you know, we got a fucking song.
Of course, you're just describing fucking.
The Red Ripper and you're in my sights, and even your virginity won't save you tonight. I'm a fucking razor sharp tonight. Ah, shit.
It's about murdering somebody. But is it about murdering someone with your knife dick or murdering someone in real life? Who fucking knows? You be the judge. It's about fucking somebody with your knife dick. I mean, essentially, you watch a fucking slasher movie and that's what's going on. This repressed mongoloid kid hiding in the shadows, fucking stabbing all these girls. What does he really want to do? He wants to fuck them, but he's never going to get the chance. Also, is this song even about that? Because, maybe this song's about eating somebody's pussy right after, while they're on their period. Eating a bleeding vagina, whether or not that's with your fucking actual knife or your fucking dick or your pussy, whatever, because it's not just about fucking girls, it's about fucking whoever you want to fuck. I just fucking happen to have a dick, so I'm gonna write about fucking with a dick. You can look at the symbolism in the lyrics and you can pick that out, or you can look at it as being a literal thing. Pussy, fucking stabbing them. Vagina, your knife dick, or your pussy, or knife dick, a pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick. We've never fucking been accused of being subtle. I went in and I did all of my guitar takes first to a metronome. And then we use that to kind of distribute out. Everybody listens to it and sort of learns the parts, and then they go in and they play to that. Here we go.
So yeah, I got a small studio here at my place. just a few inputs, you know, only doing like 16 inputs at a time. You know, I've got a control surface to work on. I got V's favorite instrument right here, the piano. So we can put lots of piano on the Jason's record. Nah, I'm teasing. But you know, it's just comfortable for me to sit here and work, you know, surrounded by things that I love. And you know, it's a really good working environment to be able to look up and see Jason Hollywood while Jason Hollywood is laying down tracks for the best Jason's album of all time.
So in the studio, we were looking for nice, boom, loud drums. Not like any of that canned shit. Like really loud, in-your-face drums from the 80s. I used a 4-piece kit like I normally do, except it was a DW. And I used a couple extra crash cymbals just to give it that little extra something that I normally don't use. And I used a double kick. Even though I don't always do it, this album, that's what it needed.
This album has 15 tracks. I only really remember 9. I think I slept a lot. And then I woke up and they told me I was done. And that's it.
But the more I listened to those demos, and you know, they were supposed to be my final guitars, but the more I went in and listened to them, the more unhappy I was with the sound of my guitar and with the tone.
I don't remember anything.
So when Scab Hollywood joined the band, he was really pushing for us to get new amps. You know, we need to get new heads, we need to get new amps and shit. And his solution was these positive grid bias amps, which I was completely against. Number one, they look like a fucking baby play school amp. Number two, it's not a tube amp. And number three, they're fucking expensive. And so I was kind of against it for a while, but the more frustrated I got with, you know, not being able to find an amp sound that I liked, the more I started to consider doing that. So we decided to just fucking bite the bullet. We bought a pair of them, and you know, it ended up being exactly what I was looking for.
And then V in Hollywood got these dumb-looking little tiny amps that you can program like a computer.
Me and V use the amps, and right now I'm tracking with my custom Jason Hollywood fuck off amp. And what I got going on here, it's kind of like a cross between a Marshall JCM 800, which you know all kinds of dudes that play those, and Mesa Boogie amp. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds going on here. I'm using a combination of different gain stages. I'm using 6550 tubes instead of EL34s or 6L6s, pardon me. Doing some things, a custom transformer. All this is emulated in the software. So, you know, I can play everything, do a little bit of experimentation as we mix the record as well.
My guitar tone is kind of based on, you know, something that sounds like Motley Crue, Girls, 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 with a little bit of extra, just a little bit of extra gain.
And I just don't know. This is too modern. I don't like it. It's just fucking dumb.
We're able to even use those amps to record Jason 3D's bass, you know, directly through my head with a Gene Simmons Punisher bass kind of sound with some modifications.
And so we got that, and it sounded like a dog fought. So we took a little bit of treble out, added a little bit more bass, and now you get the 3D Punisher sound. And it's all new for me. I'm still not 100% on it, but it sounds good in the mix. And I guess that's important.
So I wasn't super duper happy with making the change until I heard the way it sounded. You know, it was kind of like something that really opened my eyes to the fact that you can really get so hung up on the idea of a tone that never really materializes as the tone that you want, you know. I was playing through a fucking JCM 800, not being happy with what I had, using fucking pedals and using tube screamers and trying to achieve this sound, and never really got there. Whereas we buy these fucking positive grid bias amps, these little tiny play school baby looking amps, but they're, you know, they're solid state 600 watts, and I was able to find the exact sound that I wanted.
Yeah, so I did everything on this record using my Kramer Pacer Classic here. I do all my own setups. Got some custom graphics on here. I do my own Floyd setups. I use special gauge strings, and I always pop out the stock pickup. And right now I'm using a Seymour Duncan custom TB5 trembucker. And again, it's one of those, it's a high output pickup, but it's not so high output that it fries the inside of the amp. So you've got plenty of tone coming in, but you've also can get that high gain sound. And it's nice, and it can be smooth if it wants to be, it can bite if it wants to be.
So I ended up looking around, and I found this, which is a Kramer Beretta 84. Real simple, stripped down guitar, kind of based on the classic like Eddie Van Halen Kramers. It's got a JB pickup, nothing super fancy, nothing super distorted, and it's just a stripped down basic version. So I got this one. I actually drove to Canada to fucking pick this guitar up because I couldn't find one in the States in this color, and they wouldn't ship it to me from Canada. So I had to drive down there, and I picked it up. But I ended up being so happy with it that I liked it so much I went and bought 2 more so I could have, you know, 2 to take with me on the road and then 1 as a backup. So I got this guy and then 1 more. But I used these guitars, 2 of these, to track the entire album. I went back and re-recorded all my guitars. With these, I turned the distortion down. I kind of got rid of a lot of that high gain. I mean, it's still a high gain sound, but nothing compared to the sound I had before. It was like a learning thing for me because I'm not a gear person. I don't know pickups. So, you know, someone says, you know, what pickup you want to put in your guitar, I'm going to look at the one with the coolest fucking name and choose that one and probably fucking be unhappy with it, which is what happened. You know, I had this fucking death metal, Black Winter Seymour Duncan pickup in my guitar, but I wasn't really trying even to achieve that guitar tone. So going back to the drawing board and finding these really helped a lot. So that's kind of ends up being, you know, the majority of the whole record for me is just 2 Beretta 84s, 1 Seymour Duncan JB pickup, and it's super simple, but it's exactly what I was hoping for, what I was looking for this record.
Yeah, so when I was working on the solo for this, again, this is the first Jason's track I ever had to write a solo for. And I was really trying to go with Johnny Ramone meets Ace Frehley. And those were my 2 biggest inspirations other than myself. So I ended up coming up with this. Yeah, so to break this solo down a little bit, so what you heard there, you know, you've got so that for me was really a nod to Johnny Ramone and you know, a lot of the stuff you hear on some of these Ramones records. But that was it for me. The first thing right there, I was gonna do that. I was gonna hit that dissonance and that double stop. And the key of the song is in A, and I'm actually playing an E there. So I'm doing a little bit of harmony off of what's happening with the riffs. So the next thing I did was I decided I was gonna bring Ace Frehley into the party, and that's where this comes in. Those double stops there, that's a classic Ace Frehley thing to do. And again, it plays well with this dissonance here. You've got something that's a little more upbeat, a little bit more upbeat dissonant, and then you've got something that's a little bit of a blues-based thing happening here, thanks to Ace. And I really wanted to make sure that I combined those, and then so by the time we get here to the end, this is where the 80s metal part comes in, you know. So we got Ace. And then that's when I decided to make it a little more intense. But let those last few notes just kind of sing and float out there on top. Right as that instrumental break continues on, and I decided to end it something just a little pretty, a little melodic. Something a lot of yous maybe don't know about me is I'm a very Renaissance kind of guy, and I feel like making a record is like making bread. And so I got my sourdough starter here, and this kind of represents the whole record. So you got to really feed and nurture the sourdough starter so you get some good aeration and some good activity in there. And basically when this sourdough starter is ready for me to start baking with, that means the record's going to be done, right? So the next thing is when I'm actually looking at raising just a loaf of bread, I use this as my gauge for a song, you know. So by the time, you know, I start here with my dough, and by the time it's risen, then I should have one whole Jason's track finished and recorded. And so that's kind of the artistic connection between me and this record, and how I view baking as an extension of the musical art form.
Pussy, or knife dick, a pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick, a pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick, your pussy, or knife dick.